Well, you've likely already seen the commercials running here on Channel 7. This year, we are celebrating our 70th anniversary as Idaho's very first TV station. We signed on July 12, 1953, but not as KTVB at that time. That came later. Our Doug Petcash explains it all to us.
It all starts in 1928 at a radio station at Boise High School. Turns out they built up a pretty big operation called KFAU. So big, it became too expensive to operate. So the school district put it up for sale and put an ad in the paper. An ad Mr. Curtis Phillips and his wife Georgia happened to notice when they were visiting her parents in Parma. Curtis, who already co-owned a radio station in Eugene, put in the winning bid and became the owner of KFAU that same year. The couple moved to Boise to run the station and went on air November 5, 1928 under the call letters KIDO AM. Over the years, they built up the station, gaining more and more power to broadcast farther and farther away. But in 1944, Curtis died of a heart attack, leaving Georgia as a widow with 2 young girls. She continued to run the station as a single mom until 1946. That's when she married R. Mowbray Davidson, a Boise businessman, and she officially became Georgia Davidson. In 1952, the FCC lifted its pause on new television stations, and Georgia filed for Idaho's very first TV station permit. A year later, on July 12, 1953, KIDO TV went on the air for the very first time. The studio was located on Crestline Drive, just above the Boise Hills Village. Even the father of television, Philo Farnsworth himself, was in attendance for the sign-on. Legend goes, it was so hot that day, someone from the station went around to every store in Boise to buy every fan they could find to keep the machines cool. Those days, some commercials were advertised live in the studio. The studio even had a garage door for car dealerships to showcase their newest rides.
Fortunately, no bomb was found. Bowling, basketball, or ice skating, yes, you have the choice when you go Phillips 66.
By 1955, KIDO TV had 7 on-air personalities and a number of original shows. In 1959, Georgia decided to sell the radio side of the business and change the television's call letters to KTVB. That same year, Bob Kruger was hired as the station's first general manager and vice president, and Sal Selesky, the station's first news director.
The real credit for the success of Channel 7, I believe, was Sal and Bob, because they laid the foundation. The rest of us just stood on their shoulders.
In 1971, KTVB opened its current building on Fairview Avenue, on what used to be the old Western Idaho Fairgrounds. 9 years later, in 1980, Georgia Davidson decided to sell KTVB to her friend Dorothy Bullitt, the owner of King Broadcasting in Seattle. Georgia would stay on, but with Bob Kruger running the station. In 1986, KTFT in Twin Falls begins operations under the KTVB News Group brand, expanding the station's reach from eastern Oregon almost to eastern Idaho. That coverage would explode again in 1996 with the launch of KTVB.com, now one of the most visited news websites in the entire state of Idaho. Georgia died a year later in 1997 at the age of 89, but her legacy lives on here at KTVB.
You just can't run from the Channel 7 legacy, and nor do you want to, because this is such a special place.
I'm so proud of this station, and I'm still proud of the station. I think it's still the gold standard.
I love this place, and the community loves this place. And you know, we always used to say a reputation is hard to build and it's easy to lose. And that weight is upon every generation that comes through the halls of this television station.
And for the next several months, we're going to be bringing you a lot more stories about our history and our legacy from the perspectives of some people you may recognize from being on TV over the years, and others you may not, but who've been instrumental to our success. We cannot wait to share them all with you. So stay tuned over the coming weeks.